The Pandaroo, a so powerful parable by Dana Buck. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Psalm 139, verse 13 through 14. What can a story about a mythical creature, half panda bear and half kangaroo, tell us about our place in God's kingdom? Well, plenty.
The Pandaroo, a so powerful parable by Dana Buck. Once there was a magic isle, a place of awe and wonder, where sandy beaches line the shore and waves display their thunder. The trees were tall and leafy green, with grassy glades between, and waterfalls ran down the hills to clear and lazy streams. But it's not the beauty of this place that makes the island special. It's the animals that call it home, that burrow, graze, or nestle. Of all the creatures living here who ran or crawled or flew, none was more peculiar than the unlikely Pandaroo. His upper half was panda bear, and through genetic wonder, his lower half a kangaroo, like those who lived down under. His challenges were many to accomplish daily living, for his body parts seemed quite mismatched, ill-suited, unforgiving. When it came to motion, he did the best that he could do. Not moving like a panda bear, he bounced like a kangaroo. But his head and shoulders, arms and chest were large and very brawny. Nothing like a kangaroo's, more thin and light and scrawny. Meaning when he'd sally forth to make his way by hopping, the challenge wasn't getting there. The challenge now was stopping. When he reached his chosen spot, there simply were no brakes. And so he'd stop by bouncing into bushes, trees, and lakes. Eating was another chore that surely was no breeze, for the leaves he loved were only found up in the swaying trees. Can you imagine climbing high, as surely you must do, to reach these tender budding leaves with the feet of a kangaroo? His greatest trial was fitting in, belonging anywhere. He was only partial kangaroo and not all panda bear. So more and more all by himself in loneliness he'd sit and think about the countless ways he didn't seem to fit. One day, as he was feeling blue, the forest's quiet hush was broken by a crashing sound within the underbrush. Unsettled by this sudden noise, the Pandaroo just froze, sat staring at the tree line where the clamoring arose. He heard somebody singing just as loudly as they could. The words were bright and happy as they echoed through the woods.
I may not be a peacock or a lion with regal mane, but I follow the Creator, and He loves me just the same. Whether cloaked in neon feathers, fur as fine as it can be, I'm always going to love the great Creator across the sea.
Then bursting through the bushes came a creature on the scene, the most frightening and funny the Pandaroo had ever seen. His head was large and woolly, curving horns and shaggy beard, but below its massive shoulders, well, this animal got weird. His legs were thin and spindly, not much thicker than a rope. He turned to face the Pandaroo.
Hi, I'm the buffalo.
Pandaroo was puzzled by his top and bottom half, and he wasn't sure if he should run or stay or cry or laugh. The buffalo just stood and smiled. He'd seen this all before. the startled, disbelieving looks that everybody wore.
I hope I'm not disturbing you. I kinda lost my way.
The buffalo, quite friendly and polite, began to say.
I thought I'd found a hidden trail, a shortcut to the glade. But before I knew what happened, gosh, it seems I must have strayed.
No worries,
said the Pandaroo, now feeling more at ease.
Why, I myself occasionally bump into brush and trees.
The Buffalo Pete chuckled in his booming baritone.
Say, I'm wondering why you're sitting in this forest all alone.
Said the Pandaroo.
Well, I'm not quite a panda bear. I'm also not a kangaroo. I'm neither here nor there. I feel so darn self-conscious, feel it everywhere I go. My top is either misfit or my legs and feet below. So I find a patch of forest that's concealed and out of sight, and don't feel quite so badly, like a misfit or a blight.
The Pandaroo then dropped his head, his chin upon his chest.
I wish I wasn't different, and the same as all the rest.
The buffalo moved closer to the sighing Pandaroo.
It seems that normal doesn't rest with either me or you. I know the hurt you're nursing, the unfairness that's conferred, feeling that you don't fit in with any group or herd. But there's something rare and special, something only you can be, in the plan designed and driven by the Creator across the sea. He knows us from the inside out, our dreams and fears and aches. He loves us just the way we are and never makes mistakes. It's up to us to trust Him, find our purpose in His plan. When we do, we're joyful and can feel His loving hand. Me, I've learned to follow, seek the path He has arranged. On the outside, nothing's different, but inside me, all has changed.
The buffalo then added, with some mischief in his eyes,
Besides, I'll never have somebody call me Thunder Thighs.
The Pandaroo raised up his head and laughed until he cried. The buffalo just grinned as gloom and melancholy died. When his laughing faded, Pandaroo quick wiped his eyes and decided then and there to put away his sorry whys.
Gosh, I never did consider that my curse was really wealth. Guess I was too busy feeling sorry for myself. Instead of all this moping, hiding out in isolation, I think I'll hop along and find my place in His creation.
Now you're talking, partner.
Buffalo saw sadness fade.
Well, I better mosey on and try to find that sunny glade. Remember, if you ever come across somebody blue, just share what you've been shown so they can walk the pathway too.
With that, the shaggy bison, legs like sticks of peppermint, proceeded on his journey, singing loudly as he went.
Oh, I'll never be a rhino or a great big tall giraffe, but I can act with kindness, find new friends, and make them laugh. So if you're feeling gloomy, sing and make the sadness flee, and always seek to praise the great Creator across the sea.
The Pandaroo then waved goodbye, glad for the smile he wears, then left to find the kangaroos and seek the panda bears. The roos were napping in the shade when Pandaroo came hopping. In his hurry, he forgot his fatal flaw, his stopping. He hooked 2 saplings with his arms, he twisted and he bent them, desperate to decrease his speed and halt his great momentum. Grabbing one with both his paws, he circled round and round, till gravity took over and he settled on the ground. Sheepishly he looked to the reclining kangaroos. Not one was meanly laughing, though they did seem quite amused. The Pandaroo then saw his former thoughts of fear and dread were woefully misplaced, existing mostly in his head. He enjoyed a quiet nap amongst the kangaroos, then left in search of pandas and their friendship to peruse. As he crossed the island towards the tall and sturdy trees, he heard the sounds of turmoil floating in upon the breeze. Bouncing to the meadow where the pandas liked to sit, the bears were pacing tensely as one mother threw a fit. Frantic with concern, he heard the mother crying, "Please!" as she pointed in her panic high into the swaying trees. The sight where aimed her finger caused the Pandaroo to blanch, for there, above the glade, a baby panda clutched a branch.
"I only left him for a second, and he climbed out on that limb. It's too thin and weak to hold me, so I couldn't get to him. I tried and tried to coax him, but he wouldn't come to me. Oh, can't anybody help and fetch my baby from that tree?"
The pandas stood in quandary. None desired her pleas to snub, but all were far too heavy for that branch that held the cub. They milled and paced and fretted, no one knowing what to do. Then one voice broke through the din.
"I'll save him,"
cried the Pandaroo. All eyes are fixed upon him, and their gaze he bravely meets, but no panda seems convinced, as they look doubtful at his feet. Pandaroo is spooked, his courage starts to melt away. Then he thinks about the buffalo and what he had to say. So he trusts the great Creator, gives his all, yes, every ounce. With a cry of,
"To the rescue!"
Pandaroo begins to bounce. With each leap he carries higher, jumping up like a machine, back to earth, then springing skyward like a panda trampoline. He strained his every muscle, bouncing heedless to the breach, but even with his best, the cub remained just out of reach. He felt his effort failing as his legs began to burn. He could fathom just one option, just one place where he could turn.
"Please help me, great Creator.
As he rapidly descended,
On everyone's opinion for my worth I have depended. Forgive that foolish notion. Make my heart and spirit new. Give me strength to do what you created me to do."
with that he hit the meadow, coiled his legs just like a spring, then launched himself directly where the baby waits and clings. And with this massive bounce, he stretched his arms for all their worth and plucked the little panda from his lofty treetop perch. His landing was superb, and as rejoicing filled his ears, he restored the cub and mother, missed her hugs and smiles and tears. Hoisted high on Panda's shoulders and then carried round the glade, Pandaroo felt like a hero in this joyful bear parade. Then he thought about the buffalo, where he aimed thanks and praise, the attitude and point of view that filled his happy days. So in the midst of joy, he rallied up this cheering throng, and singing with one voice, he taught them all this little song.
Though the day be fraught with peril, filled with trouble near and far, we can trust the one who loves us best no matter who we are. Whether napping in the sun or dangling high up in a tree, just lift your voice and praise the great Creator across the sea.
From that day throughout his lifetime, Pandaroo had many pals. Not just kangaroos and pandas, also otters, wolves, and owls. But of all the friends he'd made amongst the deer and mice and squid, he loved the misfits best, the ones who felt like he once did. He remembered what the buffalo had said that he should do.
Just share what you've been shown, so they can walk the pathway too.
And so this sunny day he sought someone he'd heard about, a quiet, lonely creature who seemed lost in fear and doubt. Within a distant forest, quite beyond the beaten track, there sat a little monkey, wrapped in stripes of white and black.
"Hello!"
he called with joy.
"I'm Pandaroo!"
he said with zing. Thus he met the chimpanzee zebra, and then taught him how to sing.